Keith, you know, we had the prices on Friday, and then before the day started, I asked Mackenzie, hey, how many double-digit priced races do you think we're going to have today? And she
Okay.
gave 4. Went over that. We were 7 for 10 on
Yeah,
double-digit
she
prices
was close.
yesterday. So it was just one right after the other. It didn't stop. So heck of a day that we had yesterday.
Oh, I'm telling you. Early pick five, 14,000. Late pick five, 69.52. You had a middle pick four sprinkled in there, close to $1,000.
Okay.
So yeah, and you even had a Brittany Russell firster that
6
paid
to 1.
14.20. Right.
Yes.
So that's a little bit unusual. Milan Milosevic in the last race with a horse, worked a little slow, moved inside, angled out. See you later. $30.60 to wrap up the card. Yeah, it was some of those winners were tough to wrap your head around, but hey,
Yep.
kudos to those who got it done. Hopefully you had a big day yesterday and see what we have in store for this Sunday day of racing here at Laurel Park.
Speaking of Laurel Park, let's go ahead and take a look outside, see what we got going on. Things are looking pretty good, Keith,
Oh,
and less windy
yeah.
than yesterday.
Yeah, beautiful today. 45, sunny skies. Get out here if you can join us. Sit out on the apron and enjoy the live product. That's what it's all about. That's what got us into the game. It's what got me into the game, coming out and seeing the horses in the flash, a little action, trying to cash a few tickets. That was fun. And here I still am some 50-some years later. Yeah.
There we go, and there we go, lifetime fans here. And let's start the card here with race number 1,
Yeah.
kicking off that early pick 5. And Keith, let's talk about this claiming 16,000, never win 2, 5.5 on the dirt for the 4-year-olds and up. No scratches for this race. Let's talk about Battle of Bastogne, and let's go ahead and take a look from that last effort out, resulting in a win. Now in the barn of Carlos Mencia, Johan Rosado.
Yeah, this was off of a little change. I went to the sale, I guess, over there at Timonium, and I tell you, they reaped the rewards right off the bat, Mancia and Cottonwood Stable for Battle of Bastogne. Loose leader out here, Ruffner got it done, just life and death to win last night at Charlestown. But Battle of Bastogne, a good move inside of a rival, eases out here, bid between foes to take over. And wins by about 3/4 of a length. I thought it was a pretty good race. Bandcamp hasn't come back to run quite as strong, right, if I remember.
You're
but
not,
the
yeah.
number is there. Cal, that's good enough for me. This mark can get them to win in bunches. Has come back since with a good work and was entered against much better the other day. Hence, scratching goes to a softer spot here today. Battle of Bastogne in the opener, shorter price.
Sure, absolutely. The barn is doing pretty well as of lately. A trend second off of the layoff. Keith, you also have the number 5 Runny for Mike Trombetta.
Yeah.
Angel Cruz gets the call. That was claimed last time out by Mike. He doesn't do that too often.
That's exactly what I got to know. I said, here's a barn that just doesn't claim a whole lot. Something they liked. 4 wide against the grain of the racetrack. Against the next out winner, Jolly by Golly, I think stepped up off of that race. Interesting. I think you're going to see this horse revert to closing tactics like it did 2 races back. Took the rating, and one was something left. Went by, and there is some speed in here. Moncrief quick to the outside. Box and bend. The blinkers go back on. He's had them before. He's going to be part of that flow, even with Half's victory. Katie's Notion close up.
Yep.
I think this race sets up for somebody from just off the pace. And even though at 5.5, I think this track is kind of evened out a little bit. You can win from kind of anywhere. You can close in. So a little shot to Battle of Bastogne, but Rennie at a price might be a user here now. And a little bit of an early hit there. I'm sure this horse will float up in value.
There we go. 6, 5, 4, 3 in race number 1. Let's go to race number 2. Starts the
Okay.
early pick 4. Also is a maiden claiming 20,000 for the straight 3-year-old, going 3/4 of a mile on the dirt. Keith, let's talk about your number 8, TikTok Daddy, getting in with the Millennials for Rudy Sanchez Solomon and Raul Mena at 30 to 1.
Yeah, 30 to 1. I'm telling a big number here. It was a big number in debut. You had a big price in the first race. You were looking to get Hampton Lane there, and Mike, that's a try. I try for a big price here. In race 2, I think the race is, fairly wide open. Kickstarters will show videos. Should be tough. But TikTok Daddy in debut, off slow, but then made broke in the air, I think was the comment. Right, we got broke in the air. But then made a good steady progression out wide, sat there, stayed well into contention till about, almost a quarter pole, just to fade. Omar Cumming, that was the other winner there for Rudy. I think had designated hitters. Got it done walking the dog on the front end. So why not just sit back or relax and make a run from off the pace? This horse showed a little bit of grit, I thought, in debut. Just backed in through the stretch, but definitely had every right to do that. I think second out. Look at just picked that one up too. 23% good ROI. That works for me.
There we go.
At
there
a
we
big
go.
number here in race 2.
Yeah, Rudy Sanchez, 25-second start. Social Inclusion, 21% second start. Jock stays on. Things are looking better for TikTok Daddy there. Let's talk about the number 6 and kick startness for Jamie Ness. Carlos Lopez gets the call. A run last time out that we have a video on will make things just a tick interesting here, Keith.
Yeah, a little speed to the inside of this one. Kick startness has a couple horses. Landslide is home. I had enough, I think, will be part of that. For a little steady here. This horse goes up behind a rival going to the half-mile pole. That 6 drifted out just ever so slightly into the turn. You see that? Just kind of got off its game a little bit and remained outside on the 12th of January. I hate to be redundant, but you got to let you know how this track was playing on these days.
Sure.
If you haven't joined us and really follow closely along, that was an inside favoring day, and Kick Startness just kept on grinding through the stretch. Runs good. 50 buyer. I don't think anybody's touched that. He comes back to that. He's going to be awfully tough setting up shop just off the pace, I think. He might let those other two just go to the inside of him and then try to make that pouncing move around the turn.
For sure, for sure. You also go with Sin Permiso with Marco Salazar. Andreas Chavez gets the call. Hey, the kid's riding well.
Oh, yeah. He's going to be used in almost all of my tickets. I think he's that live of a rider. He's got ability. Love the way he thinks out a race. And I was saying, is that Pimentel's nephew or something? There's a relationship.
Oh, I didn't know.
There's something there.
Okay.
Scotty Silver, I was asking stores, I think has got his book. He's had some really good jockeys in the past. But this one woke up. Lasix on last time. Did ride the best part of the racetrack behind Kick Startness. But that sudden change in ability woke me up. The rider, yes, I'm going to use this one underneath in race number 2.
8-6-1-9 for Keith Fustel in race number 2. Let's go to race number 3. This is a starter allowance going 1 mile and 16, 2 turns on the dirt for the 4-year-olds and up. Scratch and 3, remembering Wilbur. You go with Galatians for Annette Eubanks and Chavez again here on the inside rail.
Yeah, gosh, the scratch of remembering Wilbur. I got this one a little bit late, so maybe I would have done a little bit of I'm going to stick with this horse as well.
Nope.
He might still have the chance with Ace 9-9, even Brasstown. But if Carlos wants to get aggressive a little bit into that first turn, because you can't let Paradise Pride, this 3-5 shot, just go ahead and clear. If he dictates the pace, he's probably gone. I think he'll run better. He switched leads very late to that left lead. That cost him. Right there in that race last time. But Galatians can lay close enough. Got a really good trip last time. Has moved up out of a condition race like that before to run well in starters. He's getting closer to these today. Might be the day where he gets past with Chavez.
And again, you mentioned Ace 9-9, Paradise Pride underneath as well. Let's just touch on the 4, Brasstown, really quickly for Mario Saray Jr. Toralba, 2 wins yesterday, and trying to just as a 5-pounder, going to try to keep that momentum up.
All of a sudden, we've got plenty of apprentice riders with some ability.
The
you've got to pay attention. A little bump up in number. He's still not quite what he once was. It looks like he's going to need things to trip out perfectly for him. But underneath, again, maybe try supers. That's how I would use Brasstown in race number 3.
There we have it. 1-2-7-4 in race number 3. Let's go to race number 4. A lot of action for us going on. As Keith, it starts your middle pick 4 ticket. You mentioned that pool of the middle pick 4, so you're going to try and get in on that action today.
Yeah, we had a good one yesterday. Was that over $900, close to $1,000? Simple ticket, $12. Couple scratches in the 4th, unfortunately. I'm going to have the 2 and the 3 over much and classy. Chick, Ziffy Bug, Rod Dog. Rodman likes this horse a little bit in there if you want to toss that one. I go 2-3. Race 5 with a 2 and a 6. Proper storm to come from off the pace. Never done to kind of get that prompting trip. If you want to go one more, Justice Gypsy Girl, definitely I would. If you can afford it, go ahead and throw that one in. 2 deep in race 6. Looking for Bacall as a long shot here. First time for TJ Aguirre.
I was looking at that horse, yeah.
Okay, race 7, 3-5-7. Lady Serenity been red hot. Mystic Seaport, definitely the horse to beat. And Sweet Shugs is quick. Might be the speed from the outside. There's your $12 ticket.
I believe I do that same thing in that race. Speaking of which, let's go to my ticket. Keith, I've been
Okay.
giving it super price. I don't know if the math's right on that, but I was giving some hefty tickets, in these past weeks, and I saw a chance for 2 singles, and I just went ahead with it. So again, giving you a base bone structure here, but I try and get as cheap as I can go, and this is a ticket where I felt I could. I also go 2-3 with like you did. I single on Never Done just because I think in a claiming 10,000 with the success, with just the consistency that one has had, easy grab. Race number 6 with the 2 and the 10, Buck and Lucky. We'll have a video spotlight on this one. Race number 7, I don't do the same thing as you. I go 1, 3, and 5. I like Mikey Gorham's On the Rail at a price of 15 to 1. Was just a bit interested with that. Race number 8, Point Doom. I think my best bet of the day, this is something that Kieran McGee has done with these Brittany Russell horses coming from Baffert and has just kind of held on. He did it with Classier, who won yesterday, as an example of that. There is another one. It doesn't come to my mind yet. But then 2-4-5 in race number 9, just because I had some wiggle room in a maiden 45. We have a video spotlight on the 2. $7, 20 cents.
Yeah, we set these tickets up as a base, a lot of times because we want to keep things affordable. But even in a situation, you've got a $7.20 ticket. Mix and match a little bit sometimes. Maybe pull a couple extra horses from my ticket or whatever, vice versa, and throw them in and make it work for you. I tell people a lot of times, there's a lot within these 4 picks when we throw them up there. It's not necessarily who I love top to bottom, but in that mixture, you can use them various ways. Like a buddy of mine, what he likes to do with my picks, he'll go, I'll take your best value and take them top and bottom with the other 3.
There we go.
And that's a good way to go about it with the exactness. Doesn't kill you throughout the day, but gives you a shot to hit a good number.
Very well said for what we're just trying to give you there, Keith. So thank you for that. Race number 4, maiden claiming 30,000 for the girls. 2 turns on the dirt, scratching the 1, scratching the 6, a 4-horse field now. You and I both land in the same structure, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wow. Let's talk about a couple of these. We both go with the 2 and the 3 on our tickets. So let's just touch on Overmuch, Brittany, and Toledo here on the inside.
Yeah, second time for Pole. Had to catch Zuma up at Parks. That was a Pletcher runner that kind of ran away from that one. Came back in a stake, I believe, here. And just got in some trouble early and just never got it going. So here's another $250,000 curl. So you're thinking usually you're going to go a little bit more. So that's not like terribly high when you're looking to breeding and everything. So right in for 30. It's an angle that they do. And the excuse I'll give, it was a fast but sealed track. This horse was traveling kind of comfortably 3-4 wide down the backside. And when the real running started at 3/8, she just didn't quite pick it up. She just ran even. It's not like she really kind of gave way. She just could get involved from there. That could have been the track.
And for the reason of that, I haven't seen a lot of works on any type of good or muddy surface until this last work that we just saw. So that could have just been a first experience. The muscles weren't used to it. I agree with you. And then Michael Sanchez just kind of did a little bit of a wrap-up job after that.
Yeah. So Overmuch, I'll come back. Classy chick, 2 excuses, her last 2, no doubt. 4 wide against the grain on the 6th. Go Sherry Go rode that inside and kicked away. And then the stumble. The time before that, very good run at a mile, sitting from off the pace. I know this horse can get the distance. Tiz Vino now might be the speed, though, for Kenny Cox. You might see this one go ahead and try to whistle to the front and control things. 2, 3, 4, 5. Really not a love anything in that race, unfortunately.
Right. There we go. This is and that kind of shows within our tickets. As a 4-horse field, usually you just kind of go in on a single. We both go with 2 on our tickets. So race number 5 is a claiming 10,000 for the girls 4 and up, which have never won 3, going 2 turns on the dirt here today. Scratching the 4, Please Marry Me. You and I both go with Never Done. Phil Capuano, Gene Aguilar having a good day Friday. We'll see if he can kind of bookend the day here today. But let's go ahead and take a look at that last effort on the mud over on the 7th of January.
Well, there's Please Marry Me, who we're not going to see today, but Never Done. She's just kind of got that grind it out, not a real big accelerating gear, but I'm just going to stay around. We saw that even on the turf a few races back, but she kind of dogs Please Marry Me every step of the way, probably by the time they hit 5/8 pole all the way into the stretch. Going to get a short lead here, but it's the Sweet Heidelberg Corrales horse who kind of bucked the trend that was outside the whole way and just steadily came and got him. But Never Done, I still thought trying in defeat. We saw this jockey-trainer combo get it done with his full sibling of Never Done the other day at a price that was crushed down late. But anyhow, Never Done here to set up shop, I believe, off of Jess's Gypsy Girl. Really big, has a big number to go back to off debut. That 68 buyer of 58 last time. The middle of the card on the 13th, outer portion of the track was good. So still, with kind of the grain, but went away okay. I just wish Catch the Kitten would have run a little bit better. In her next start, was it yesterday, the day before?
Yesterday.
But, yeah, so Jess's Gypsy Girl, though, I think she's going to be prominent from the inside. Early Rose, probably your best price shot. I know Dave Robin likes that one a little bit for the Frocks. Proper Storm was probably hoping Please Marry Me stayed into this race to enhance that flow. But, she's going to get that ground-saving trip. Another one, not that big gear, but we know she can get the distance.
Grind and stock, and there we have it for race number 5. 6, 3, 2, 1. Let's go to race number 6 after this commercial break.
Okay.
More high school, collegiate, and professional athletes train and recover with. That team is MedStar Sports Medicine. For more than 30 years, MedStar has served as a leader in the diagnosis, treatment, and rehabilitation of orthopedic and sports-related injuries. Ranked among the top programs in the Maryland and Washington regions, we offer rapid access to athletes of all levels. Let the pros who treat the pros treat you. MedStar Sports Medicine.
And we're back for race number 6 in this maiden claiming 12.5, going a 1-turn mile on the dirt for the straight 3-year-old fillies. Of course, a jackpot super high 5 that's carried over is going to be on its way to $7,000 by the time we get to race number 6. Again, a scratch in the 7, Grace in Excess. Keith, you and I go a couple of different ways on this. Let's start with your top selection in Bacall. They ripped the blinkers off for TJ Aguirre. Martina Rojas gets the call on this one, and second-time router for TJ has been pretty decent, especially with a long river bred.
Okay, I'll take that. I didn't get a chance to look that up. That's good that you give me that. It gives me a little bit more hope.
2 for 3 in the money, 1 win, 1/3 in the last 3 starts, second-time routing.
Yeah, the long rivers, okay, 15% routing on the main track.
17 second-time route. Yep.
Okay.
And then the Dam Sire Costa Vera, just 1 for 4, 25%.
All right. LASIK's going on. Yeah, the blinkers were on last time. Off of what I thought was an okay debut. I happened to watch that race. I was at the OTB up at Greenmount. Thought this horse finished up okay at Parks. Came back, took plenty of play, 9-2. Absolutely no run whatsoever. I'll blame it on the blinkers. The blinkers come off, the LASIK's goes on. Hunting for a price here. You talked about the breeding. I think the mile's going to be fine. Where is she going to be positioned? Hopefully within like 4 or 5 out of it mid-turn. I don't want her coming from too far back. But Buck and Lucky, your top selection, going to be an awfully short price. Probably retooled, new barn, off plenty of time. LASIK's going on. We have a video of that start, correct?
Last time out.
Yeah, at Timonium. A race that did produce a winner. And, she was running back pretty quick as well. What'd she run? August 28th or something, back to the first? Yeah. She had a rough kind of go, a little bobble, a bump from both sides, and it was some pinball going on at the Big T.
Good way to put it, and I mean, she was probably a little bit distracted in that gate. There's running at Timonium is a very different experience for some of these younger horses and starters. So that I could just see her being stressed out in the gate and them kind of holding her down, and that kind of affected the outcome of how she broke.
Yeah, you look at her buyer figures compared to the rest. I mean, she kind of stands out that way. Bottom side, multiple route winning mare that she's out of. So off of this 156-day break, plunging in class, has a couple mile works under its belt. We've seen this. That's the Hugh McMahon move. Buck and Lucky, a short price, 7-5 morning line, rightly so here in race 6. I'll tell you a little bit better shot here on a price with Bacall, RB's big moment. Okay, last time, LASIK's went on battle through the pace. I think we'll be sent out there again. Amorica had to deal with some trouble. Did end up on the best part of the racetrack and kind of churned on, but might be a user as well here for Mendoza. But that's my price shot in here, Bacall.
3-2-10-8 for race number 6 there in that maiden 12-5. This allowance in the 7th race is going 5.5 on the dirt for the girls 4 and up. Scratch and the 4 Kittens appeal. Keith, you and I both go with Mystic Seaport. Let's go ahead and take a look at that last effort just getting denied for Jamie Ness and Jamie Barbosa.
Yeah, she had a, what a streak, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in a row. She was rolling right along. 70 cents to the dollar against, a solid starter field, big field of 10. She's 3 wide. She makes this move around the turn, gets a short lead, then clears, and just can't hold him. My Flicker, who's running great right now, who came back to win a 2 other than. So no disgrace in losing to that one. Roy Whisper, another one, has been good for him. So I think Mystic Seaport, just being against that grain of the racetrack long enough, took a little starch out of her. 5.5 furlongs is going to work. Some stone cold speeds inside, even some speed outside. And I'm wondering if that speed of the speed is Sweet Shugs. She's outrun some really quick horse. She did it 2 races back. She's outrun Hyde right away before. That's her stablemate. So I'll take a shot that maybe she can go ahead and clear, or she can put some of that other speed into a little precarious situation, little race riding into that turn. So that could force the issue of a couple of these riders down inside. So that Mystic Seaport to kind of stalk the speed of Sweet Shugs and maybe go by.
And there we have it, 5-7-3-2. I like the way you look at that 7 because you said with these selections that I have, I think it's going to be a bit closer than what it looks on paper. So I have 7 in 4th, just like narrowly missing by. Yeah. So I like that. I like that you have this one in your exacta.
Break is key here. Critical at 5.5. 2 set really rode the best part of the track, and I think that enhanced her. She jumped up and ran a top last time. Hyde right away to put the heat on her. Lady Serenity's interesting. She's been real gritty, a major improvement from prior dirt form. Now, could it have been the off-track, muddy seal, sloppy seal? She liked it, but she was against the grain 2 back, was dead game. It took advantage of it last time and threw that top number out, running back quick. Right. Can she throw another one in there again?
Same. So that's what we're thinking. 5-7-3-2 for Keith Fustel in race number 7. Race number 8 is an allowance optional 62.5, going 3/4 of a mile on the dirt for the straight 3-year-old. Scratching the 2 had to have him. Keith, you and I both have Point Doom, Kieran McGee, Toledo. Of course, mentioned on my ticket, a single. This is coming from the Brittany Russell barn via Bob Baffert.
Yeah, you talked about it earlier. We've seen it before. He's tried to make this move, taking these claims off of high price purchases. They were out west. They came over here. Brittany said, okay, we're going to kind of attack a little bit. And, he's been the beneficiary a couple times. We've seen it. Will it hold serve again? We're going to find out. I know the owner trader combo has been doing well. Brother Conway had a little excuse yesterday against Glacier, stumbled out of the break and took a lot of heat. But Sheffield Stable, Kieran McGee teaming up for victories. I don't know if he necessarily needs the lead either, because there's some other speed types in here. Dalinar outside, Force of Justice. They're proven against some okay horses and showing it and staying around. He made a middle move a couple races back at in California at Del Mar behind a graded stakes place type of horse. So now maybe coming here, got the confidence against that softer group last time. Yeah, visually impressive, wrapped up very, very late. LASIK's going. There's things like, but he's going to have to bring back that kind of effort again if he's going to beat Catahoula Moon, in my opinion, because this one getting the LASIKs on definitely against, the 30th as strong as a rail day as we've seen here in a while. 5-4 wide trip. 2 back, we've got a video, and I thought this was very, very impressive, his race in the Maryland Juvenile, where he gets caught up in a really blistering pace dueling.
He does, having to do all the hard work up front and just kind of getting the brunt of it and having to do it with his first time at the 7 furlongs. I mean, what's great is that, Maryland Juvenile fillies, I think that's always a chaotic race for these younger horses, but got lucky with speediness, just kind of getting drifted off and giving him that width. And as far as the left lead goes, sometimes they're just young, green. They get into running mode. So I don't think it was an issue next race out. And I think just visually bounced. It just clearly bounced from that effort last time out. I just need to see it come back. Clearly, I understand why you have this horse in your exacta. I'm just saying, hey, let's make sure it's not a huge confidence dip with this one. But if it's not, he's proven it in the past where, hey, he had, like in the James F. Lewis, didn't get the best of results, then came back and bounced back awesomely there in the Maryland Juvenile of what we saw.
Yeah, he's run some big races. That race in the nursery was really good, and I think I'm going to expect that kind of trip today. Let the other ones do the dirty work up front, sit and make the move. Bullet work coming into this barn, trying to pick things back up. Had a win the other day. Catahoula Moon, I think he's going to really like what's going on in front of him. X-Man to be patient around the turn, kind of like the ride we saw maybe Lopez gave class here. He just sat chilly, worked right on up and found that seam. You might get that out of Catahoula Moon. It's interesting to see what Point Dune will do off the claim for Kieran McGee. Blame the Tux and Nasty Me in My Day out of the same race. We're towards the better part of the racetrack, but both ran very well. Got a slight edge with Blame the Tux getting the first time Lasix today. Chased in that 2 path, but kept on willingly. A little race number 8. I like this. I'm anxious to see how this thing turns out.
There we have it. Good little race there we have for our feature here on Sunday. Let's get to the finale in this maiden claiming 45, going 3/4 of a mile on the dirt for this 3-year-olds. Keith, let's talk about your top selection in Peeling Lad for Benny Perkins Forest Boyce. Benny Perkins bringing it up and a nice bullet work leading into it.
Back in the day, Benny Perkins and family, man, they were just lethal with horses right out of the box. Not as much the last few years. It's been a while. He had St. Jude hit. I believe that was last year. Interesting. By Golden Lad, it's been okay with the first-time starters out of a mare that was really fast. Bell's Irish Fancy won an allowance race here. Was a 4-time sprint winner. Most recent work, I'm not a huge work guy, but I did kind of glance. She looked a little bit much faster than anything that day at the distance. I know there was, 20 other work. This was blistering, it looks like, at Pimlico. Good post position just outside to go ahead with a good break. We might see Forest Boys control things. You'll see that early money come in all the time on the Perkins runners. I don't know who it is. Doesn't matter who he runs.
Right.
They always open up first flash, the favorite, it seems.
There we go.
Peeling Lad the first. Let's see if that one can get it done today. And taking advantage of it's a Jersey bred, but by Maryland sire. That's why it's able to use the waiver in here.
Okay, there we have it. Very, very sneaky there for Benny Perkins in the finale. Let's talk about your exacta in the number 2, Come Rain or Shine for Mike Trombetta. Let's go ahead and take a look at that last start. Also with Horacio Caramanos.
This was a really eventful start. Everything throughout. A little bobble, a little pinch out of the break. Here we go again. There's the pan shot. Just giving away, man, 4 lengths right off the bat to Dalinar there by the time, maybe even 5 or 6 by the time they left the shoot. Now watch this horse travel into contention. I mean, just dragging Horacio up to contention. And can't fault him. He's in a real pickle right now. He's in a bind.
1,000%.
What do you do, Callie, when you're in this kind of spot? Just hope.
You sit as patient as you can and just hope the horse just calms down. I would word it differently in my head, but yes, and then you see if you just sit there and stay patient, then this horse does settle, and when the horse does settle, they end up learning a little bit from it, not so much from what we saw there, just before we went to the other shot, but still came up the rail nicely though. I think here's the thing, Keith, when things happen like that, a lot of people see it as not a great thing, but I always think that they come out learning well from it, especially coming up the rail like that. I liked what I saw there.
Yeah, and into Dalinar. This horse did take a lot of play for a Tromby Firster, 3-1. By Nyquist, No More Lady, that kind of family. So there's some quality there within this family for the R. Larry Johnson RDM Racing Stable runner. Need a clean trip, and he's lengths better, it looks like, to improve off of that debut.
And we'll find out if that does happen in the finale. Keith, let's dive in to, before we take off for this weekend, let's dive into some of your plays that we have going on today. Let's talk about the value play first in race number 2 on the number 9. 30-1 on TikTok Daddy for Rudy Sanchez Solomon and Raul Mena.
Just a little flyer. The Nest Runner looks like the horse to beat. I was impressed how this horse stayed around after breaking in the air, making that wide move into contention, stayed around, and took to some rating and made another move into the far turn before fading through the stretch. Might work out perfectly sprinting. Route to sprint, we saw the angle, good percentage, good ROI for this barn. This owner-trainer combination has been good. sit back off the pace, and they may rally into it a big number.
Then let's talk about your best bet of the day in race number 3 on the number 1, 9-2 in Galatians for Annette Eubanks. Chavez riding well. Eubanks gave us a price earlier on Friday.
Yeah, I hate to see the scratch of one of the speeds, remembering Wilbur, but this horse should be able to slide in there. I know Chavez, he's going to sit chilly on that inside. Hopefully things develop. Maybe Ace 9-9 can engage that favorite of Nessa's Paradise Pride early enough, and those two get entangled 3/8. They may run away from Galatians a little bit, but he's a stayer. He's going to keep trying, and he just might get past those this afternoon. And I think he's going to be in that 4-1, 9-2 range.
Awesome. There we have it for our picks and tricks for Sunday's card. Let's head on over to Dave Rodman to wrap things up.
All right, good luck.